Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Yeah, so today we are going to be doing something very, very interesting. All right. But before I go on, my name is Kingsley Andy. I'm a senior Power Platform developer in 10 Analytics. What are we going to be doing today? Okay, let me start by asking you, how do you copy data in an Excel file down to a SharePoint list? Maybe for yourself or even for your organization. Don't tell me you look at cells and then you copy it down to a SharePoint list manually. No. Don't even tell me you use Control C and Control V. No. I tell you of the truth, all those steps are long and it is tedious. Yeah. I tell you, yes, it is tedious. All right. I'm going to show you something. Just with the click of a button, all the data in your Excel sheet is just going to appear in your SharePoint list just with the click of a button, maybe for yourself or even for your organization. All right. Now, I created a scenario. So there's this company, ABC Corporation. That is the name of the company. Now, ABC Corporation is a medium-sized company. All right. And ABC Corporation keeps growing and growing and growing. That is, their business is improving. Also, the number of the employees keep growing and growing as well. But ABC Corporation is known for one good thing. They organize trainings for their employees. That is, they train their employees. Now, but there is an issue. There is an issue. And what is the issue? So the HR team is faced with this challenge of always keeping their record. The HR team record is a SharePoint list. After the training, every information is being stored in an Excel file. But the HR team takes those information to their own SharePoint list, to their own list. And then they are faced with this challenge that, oh, they keep going from cell to cell and copy. And then most of their data is inaccurate. They are not even efficient in that process. So they are now hiring you as a Power Platform engineer to look for a solution for them. And what is this solution? Yes, we are going to give them a perfect solution. And what is this solution that we want to give them? It is called Power Automate. Yeah, we are going to use Power Automate to automate all this process. So Power Automate is one of the components of Microsoft Power Platform that helps in automating repetitive processes, automating workflow. So maybe in your organization or you yourself, there is this repetitive process you normally do always. The solution to it is Power Automate. It's going to save your time and accuracy will definitely be achieved. Now, how do we build this solution? Let me show you the Excel file. Now, this is the Excel file, just as you can see. So you can see the employee ID, the employee name, the department, when they started the training, when they ended the training, now the skills they've upgraded to, and also the link to their certificate. Let me also show you. So now all these things, they need to copy it to the SharePoint list. All this data, they need to copy it to the SharePoint list. Now, copying, pressing Control C, and then you come here and press Control V. That is really, really stressful. Now, how do we build this flow? Let's just go straight to business, all right? Now, this is my Power Automate Studio, and I clicked by my left on the Create button. Now, the Create button is going to ask me, what kind of flow do you want to build? Is it an automated flow, an instant flow, a scheduled flow? I'm just going to click on an instant flow. Yes, I'm going to click on an instant flow, and then I add the flow name. So I'm just going to name the flow import Excel to SharePoint, import Excel to SharePoint. And what is the trigger I want to use? Now I'm going to select this trigger. Let me tell you why I select this trigger. Now I select manually trigger the flow so that when the HR, maybe any member of the HR team, they can even use their phone, download Power Automate on their phone, and then click on a button. All right. And it is just going to trigger the flow. That is, copy everything in that file down to the SharePoint list. All right. Now, what is the next step? You can see how easy it is. It is just asking me for the next step. It is not for the new step I want to add, not coming to write codes. Now, the new step I want to add is list the rows in my Excel table. I'm just going to make it easy for myself. Click on Excel business and it's going to show me all the actions. All right. Now list the row present in a table. Very easy. It is there already. I'm just going to click on it. List the rows present in a table. Now, what do I do next? Then I click on what's the location for my Excel file. It is in OneDrive for business. I click that. Then the document library, OneDrive for sure. And what is the name of my file? This is just it here. Employee training log. Now, how about the table? The table in my Excel file. I just have one table here, employee training log as well. That is what I named my table to be. I need to add another action. And what is the action that I'm going to add? Now, we've added the first step. When the button is clicked, list all the rows present in a table. Now, the next step is a control. All right, the next step, it is a control. And what is this control? I use the apply to each control, that is applied to every item you are going to find in my Excel file. All right, and I need to add a dynamic content here. What is dynamic content I'm going to add here? Value. You can see below it, list of items. I'm not going to choose body, I'm just going to choose value. So this value contains all the rows present in this table. Now, after you've gotten all of this, what should it do next? Send the items to my SharePoint list. So I'm just going to select an action, a SharePoint action. And what is the SharePoint action I'm going to select? Create item. Yes, create item. Now it is asking me for the site address. So I need to select my site address. So our HR team have a SharePoint site, and that is it. I have entered my SharePoint site address. Now, how about the list name? So this is my list. Remember, we created a list in our site. So that is the list name. Now, okay, so I need to populate all these columns. These are the columns. So I need to populate it here. And how do I populate all these columns? I use my dynamic content. You can see there are several dynamic contents available here, and they are coming from my Excel file. So I fill them just as the name is. For employee ID, this is employee ID. So I select it, and I do the same for everything. How about employee name? For employee name, I do the same thing. How about for my department? I select it. Now for designation, I do the same. For start date, I also do the same thing. Now, let me give you this piece of advice. When you are creating your SharePoint list, make sure that all the columns you are creating is just the same column that is going to show, that is going to be in your Excel file, so that you don't need to rack your brain. Oh, what is this column for? What is this column for? All right. So just make sure it is the same column. So link to certificate. So I think everything is intact. I have added all the cards to my flow. This is just what I want the flow to do. So I'm just going to save. Yes. And after saving, I go ahead and test my flow. Perfect. So let me go ahead and test my flow. So I test it manually. Yes, I test it manually. Click on test. So it's just going to sign in. It is signing into my Excel business and also to SharePoint. Since these are the actions I am using, I click on continue and click on run flow. I click on run flow as well. So my flow ran successfully. I just clicked on done. Perfect. But let us be sure that we've copied everything because we've triggered the flow already. So all this data need to be entered here to my SharePoint list. Now, what do? I just refresh this. So I am refreshing it. So let's see what is going to happen. Let's see. Wow. Just in the twinkle of an eye. Wow, you can see the first item here is Raji Tola Administration, Admin Assistant. Wow, everything is copied. Everything is copied. Wow, this makes sense. So that is how you can copy your Excel file down to your SharePoint list. Very, very easy.